First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Posted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
Well, let's start off, as we usually do, with Cochise County football.
Be a good night tonight. We're going to be at Buena. They're hosting Choya. Choya's 1-2. Buena's 2-1. And it's homecoming around the county in many of the schools, and Buena's one of them. So they're going to be celebrating homecoming. So come out and embrace your fighting coats.
And remember, that's going to be on KWCD. Sheriff Mark Daniels and Jeff call the games, and it starts at 6:30 for pregame. Kickoff at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we're excited about it. You know, Choya's not a real tough football team, I'll just say it. So Buena should come out with a win again, go 3-1, a good way to start the season, and get them going forward towards state.
Hopefully they do that for their homecoming game, right? Fingers crossed?
We always try to pick the team that you think you can beat. It's always, a positive thing, you know, and I don't know what control they have on that. But either way, it should be a good game tonight here at Buena. This will be their second home game of the season.
And also in Cochise County, the Cochise County Fair is happening right now. So if you haven't got your tickets, please do so. Be aware that they do have a clear bag policy. If you're going to take a person, it can be like 5 inches and by 5 inches, but everything else bigger than that, it has to be clear. They have to be able to have, for safety and security, be able to see through that. So take a look at our Facebook or the Fair Association Facebook, and you'll see that information.
And I got some calls yesterday on that saying, Sheriff, what's going on at the fair? What's all the precaution? And I tell them, it's just precautions. It's all about prevention precautions. We're in a unique time. Come to the fair. It was packed yesterday. I was really impressed with that. County fairs are America's fairs, and it was a really good time there yesterday. So come on down. Don't let that distract you. I mean, there's a lot of good things going on at the fair, plus a lot of social. Come down and see us.
We have a lot of educational materials, too, there, seriously. I mean, I know people don't go to a fair to get educated necessarily, but, you know, they get to see all the animals in 4-H and see the kids doing their thing, but we do have educational materials. Come take a look. We can talk to you about drug abuse. We can talk to you about identity theft. We can talk to you about how to talk to your teens about even fentanyl. So a lot of good information there.
And come meet the men and women at the Sheriff's Office. I mean, we got shifts. Next 4 days, we have deputies and officers and support staff, volunteers, all coming in there to share time with you. So come down and say hi to us, and let's talk. If you have any questions, let us know.
And right now we're trying to set up a jail district. We have a committee that's going to get a tour of the jail today.
Today's the eye-opener, Grady. They're going to see what's inside that. I call it fancy paint on the outside. And again, these meetings are going very well. This committee is there to design. It's made up of citizens around the county as a voice, extension voice of the Sheriff's Office in Cochise County to address the jail. And so far, they've been going very well, hearing the challenges of what our 40-year-old jail presents to us every day. And really it boils down to how we safeguard our inmates. Do we have the proper infrastructure to do that? And that's what they're looking at. So I'm optimistic that here very soon they're going to be coming out and saying it's time for a new jail too. And once that happens, then we start pushing forward to get that process working.
And then next week they get a look at the budget of the building a new jail or fixing our jail. So they get to see how the money is going to be disseminated as well.
And just to clarify, we've already done all that. We've looked at remodel, rebuild, repair, a blend of all or partial. And so we know what our recommendations are. And obviously that's to rebuild it. Jails last 20 years. This one's pushing 40 years. So, but again, we want the community. It's their money. We want to respect that. We want to hear their side of it to push that forward.
And to help with that, there's also money that's coming in from the Department of Emergency Management from the state of Arizona. And it's not for the jail necessarily solely. It's for a lot of different projects for the Sheriff's Office.
Right. Let me start with the jail first. We've secured $20 million so far. Gail Griffin and I worked, and kudos to Gail for doing what she did at the state for us, and Dave Gowan and Lupe Diaz for helping us there. Now the state has passed a bunch of money for border security. So what we're trying to do is get a GPS financial footprint into the future, and that is allocate the funds for our mission needs, operational needs, and border-related needs for next 4 to 6 years. So we're working on that. It's going very well. Hopefully here in the next few weeks we can come out with a report to the public saying this is what we've done, this is where we're going, and I'm pretty optimistic where everything's at right now, and we're also going to ask for some more funds for the jail. The more funds I can secure from the state, the better it off is for me. And let me tell you the impact. You know, Cochise County, as we all know, is right on the border here. That is a huge impact. To give you an example, since January of this year till current time, first part of September, we have booked 853 people in our jail for border-related crimes. That's costing the taxpayers in Cochise County $900,000 to $1 million every 3 months. So having the state there and having a financial plan into the future until this border becomes more manageable, we need the help from the state. So I commend Governor Ducey. I commend our state lawmakers, and so we're pushing for that. Also, next week we're looking to secure some money to build our operational center for border. So that's another thing that's coming next week. We should have the final approval on that next week. But let me commend my men and women, my leadership team. We're working really hard to get this financial footprint done for Cochise County, so the taxpayers in the county don't have to absorb that.
And another thing that's happening right now, speaking of the border, is Operation Safe Streets. That continues to operate.
Very much so. And let me give you a stat on that. And this is our operation that you see. It's a multi-agency, but since March to August, we investigated 595 smuggling events. We've identified 324 victims. We've had 107 pursuits. I mean, and these are the ones that we've apprehended. And so again, it's a busy operation for our Safe Streets, the men and women from all state, local, and federal working together to keep this community safe. So again, we're going to continue that. Also, the money from the state helps pay for those operational costs. So again, the taxpayers aren't absorbing that.
And so when we have these events, we try to capture enough of a snapshot and put it on our social media. We didn't have any out there for a couple of days, only because we had other things, taking up space on our social media site, and we don't want to have, Safe Streets fatigue, if you will. So we started putting them on again, and people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's back.
I know.
So we're going to have to make sure that we continue along those lines, because I think it's important that people understand what's going on in our communities.
Well, Carol, you and Grady are the ones that are administering our social media sites. You're putting that stuff out there. But we just got done with a first time ever sheriff's conference last week, where we had sheriffs from all over the country come here, national, major county sheriffs, major chief associations, Western Sheriff, Southwest Border. I mean, that's not easy to put on. People think, oh, it's easy, just come in, we'll have a conference room set up for you. No, we're talking logistics is deep and complex on that. So thank you to both of you guys, especially you, Carol, that spent a lot of your time. I don't know how you do it sometimes. And let me just give you a shout out. Besides doing PIO marketing like you're doing today, and you and Grady both, you run our support division. You're one of my middle managers to run my support. So you have a job beyond just putting stuff on social media. And I know some people say, well, how come we haven't seen anything? There's only 1.5 of you. Come on now. So we try to push as much as we can out there. You guys do an amazing job. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Grady, for doing what you do every day.
Excellent. I want to piggyback on the back of that, because I was working with Carol to make that Sheriff's Association whole meeting go, and it went off without a hitch. And she did all this starting months ago. So congratulations, Carol. That was a very fantastic event.
Well, thank you so much. And just, again, a group effort. So thank you.
You're humbled. You're humbled. Like it was. And I get the feedback from sheriffs from all over the country was just amazing. And I was in D.C. Beginning of this week. And the feedback I was getting back from sheriffs and leaders, people from D.C. there, to Homeland Security, I mean, you name it. Let me give you an example of that. We had the new Homeland Security. I think he's Assistant Secretary Liaison for State and Public Law Enforcement. He spent time here at the conference, and I just got an email where he's actually implementing a rural farm etiquette program for federal agents that work in rural counties, so they know how to act, what the culture means. It seems so simple, but we know it's not. Close the gate. Respect the fences. Fences for ranchers are critical when it comes to protecting their assets. So again, that was a positive that came out of that conference last week, and there's going to be some more. We're going to have some public statements coming out on that that help address sheriff's message, but most of all, unify in our message.
And so what else were you talking about in D.C. when you were over there?
So I went to D.C., and they flew me back there. They put me in a hotel. I paid for my parking at the airport. It cost the county taxpayers nothing. I just want to make sure that's clear. But went back there, and it's a media roundup. So we were actually at the CNN, Fox, NBC media room in Washington, D.C. So we were on the roof of this building. This is the same place you see with the Capitol's behind you. I've never been there before. This is a new venue, but I interviewed, there's 66 media that were there to address public safety on border security. I mean, I talked about retention, recruitment, border, you name it, reality, our efforts. What are we doing here? How are we addressing things here in Cochise County? So I was only there for Wednesday because I had to come back yesterday for the county fair. But I did, I think, 14 interviews from 6 in the morning till 3. So, I mean, it was rocking. But I got up at 5:30, which is 2:30 our time. So trust me, I'm doing some jet lag catch up here today. But it was a great event. Nice getting the message out there. And I'll just say, applauding the law enforcement and the community. People ask me about how you doing it. I said, because I have a great community to work for. They support us here in this community. We don't always agree, but they support us. It's nice.
And so for working with our partners also, we work closely with all of our agencies in Cochise County, but I want to give a shout out really quickly to Douglas Police Department. Yamilet Barrios, who is their public information officer, is doing something different now, so they have a new one, John Owens, and I just wanted to say welcome aboard, and we look forward to having you join in our team.
Very much so. And I sent Chief Fullen an email last week. Jose Duarte, retired from Douglas PD, went to ADOT. We talked about him several weeks ago, passed away. As rest in peace, my friend. So I sent him a thing to him and his Douglas family down there just to share our thoughts and condolences to that family. It's a tough time in Douglas.
And so in looking at things going on around our county, there's also one other thing that's, just been hot and heavy on social media, and just wanted to throw this out there. There was a posting on somebody's social media page for animals. And when you start talking about animals and older people, this is what happens, and crime. But apparently 3 pups were dumped along with the mother in Carr Canyon. And so you can't do that. I mean,
no.
You just can't do that. There's options that are out there. So some amazing Good Samaritan saw the puppies, was able to get them in her vehicle. She knew that the mom was out there, so she kept going back until she gained her trust, and she got the mom and turned it over to us. But again, sleuthing out there in our cyber world, people were scouring Facebook and other social media sites, and they saw a woman who said that she dumped the dogs. So believe it or not, our animal control officers went into action, the super women that they are.
They are.
And they were able to get this investigation concluded to this point by actually booking in an 18-year-old woman from Sierra Vista. Coral Dominguez was booked on 8 counts of cruelty to animals, different statutes, but 4 and 4. So she actually was booked into our jail on that, and that's a serious issue.
Good. I'm so glad. And let me commend our animal control officers. And they are. Don't mess with them. I mean, they're tough. They really are. They do an amazing job. But, yes, dropping animals into the wilderness it's horrific. Come on now. We can do better than that. And so I applaud them, and shame on her for doing that.
Coming up, we've got the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride, and we have one of the recipients of the $10,000 later on in the show. But that's coming up November 5th.
Boy, it's coming up fast. It really is, and we're getting excited. I mean, when October hits, that's when you start getting down to the final details. But it's exciting, and we're giving out $100,000 this year, which will bring our total give community. This is a community program. We receive money from the community, and thanks to Sean Lawley at Lawley Automotive Group and Jay over at American Southwest Credit Union, we're able to give this money back into the community for 10 different charities this year for $10,000 each. So it's exciting. We're very excited.
So we've given away $100,000 this year, and that doubles what we've done over the past 10 years.
Actually, 3 times. It's $300,000
Wow.
at the end after our event in November. We've already given out $200,000 in the last 9 years. This will be another $100,000. Sergeant Ray McNeely wanted to bust us up for the 10th year, so we're going to go back to our normal, I believe, $50,000 I think is what we give every year. But he doubled it because he wanted to make it a 10-year thing. So kudos to Ray for what he's doing out there. And
Peaches Pantry is one of the recipients. They're going to be on the show a little bit later today. But if you want to get your tickets, you can go to www.cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride. You can also just Google Sheriff's Charity Ride 2022, and it'll pop up for you as well. But get your tickets and support this wonderful event.
And you can have motorcycles, side-by-sides, Jeeps. I mean, off-road off-road configuration. There's so many out there right now. Come out and join us. We had 500 participants last year. We have an off-road course and an on-road course for the motorcycles. So come out and join us.
So talk to us about your stop of the week.
Stop of the week. So people might not know, when I make these travels, I was in Colorado, came back, switched suitcases, and jumped on a plane for D.C. And so when I was coming back from D.C., I drove into Sierra Vista around 10:30 at night, and coming down Buffalo Soldier, and a vehicle in front of me, driving south with the right turn signal on. There's nothing to turn unless you're going to turn into the Fort Huachucas through the fence. And then it's weaving. A consistent weave. I mean, it's obviously there's a problem. So I turned my lights on, told dispatch, hey, I'm stopping a car, possible DUI. Then I came back a second later and said the vehicle's not stopping. I turned emergency sirens on. So long story short, the vehicle wasn't fleeing from me, but it wasn't yielding to me. So I took it into a neighborhood. Sadly, the individual was very impaired. So he was taken to jail for DUI and addressed by the deputies and stuff. But again, and I'll leave you with this, if you're going to drink and drive, get a ride. Call somebody. Call Uber. Call Lyft. We have that here now. We're modern, and we really do. So call that. Don't endanger yourself or anybody else on the highway. And what a headache now. Now he has to go and dress through the court system. It's probably going to cost him some money, time, and most important, your reputation.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Grady, Carol, thank you. And hopefully I'll see everybody at the Cochise County Fair. Take care, everybody.
And invite everybody one more time to football tonight.
Football tonight. We'll be at Buena where they host Choya. Pre-game to 6:30, kickoff at 7. See you there.
And Carol, who's coming in next?
We have Peaches Pantry, so get ready.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. We have Sarah Pacheco from Peaches Pantry. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Peaches Pantry. What do you do?
We are a food backpack program in 19 schools in the county. We serve mostly kids. We do some emergency food bags to family when we get calls from other agencies, but we deliver food to kids. That's what we do.
And you're going to get $10,000 from the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride this year. That's probably going to go a long way.
That goes a long way. We're so grateful. Thank you so much for selecting us to play a part of this.
And is there something you're going to earmark that for, or is it just going to go straight into the programs?
It will go into the programs. We are working towards a couple of goals. One is to get a vehicle. We move a lot of food, and we move a lot of big pallets of food, and we've been using personal vehicles to move pallets of food, and so that is a goal of ours, is to raise funds to get a vehicle.
And tell us about the snack book program, or the snack box.
Snack box.
Yeah.
So our most of the schools that we work with is the school nurse. The person we work with is the nurse in the school, and she tells us what they need. So first off, she is the one who has a relationship with the kids and the families, and will tell us who needs food to take home. They kind of know what's going on in someone's home, and they can tell us this family doesn't have enough to eat on the weekends, and so we bring a food box for them to take home. But also, the nurse will have other needs that the schools really turn to them for help, and one of those is having snacks on hand, especially this year. You may know that school lunch, because of COVID, was free for 2 years, and now it's not. And it's a big shift, and it happened right before school started, and so there was not a lot of time to get those free and reduced lunch applications in, or get everyone signed up, or to understand how that change was going to happen. So there's a lot of kids going hungry during the day. And so we just have a box in every nurse's office that we supply with, protein bars and granola bars and, things like that they can just have on hand to give kids.
And this is something amazing that you're doing for our community, and especially when you're feeding kids. I mean, that's just amazing.
Well,
so how can the community help you?
We always take food donations. We're at the Rothery Center. It's our location. Is inside the Rothery Center on Fry Boulevard. And we're there every Thursday morning. We could always use volunteers, especially if you're willing to drive. We pack all the food bags at the Rothery Center, and then we drive them out to where their drop-off point is. So we do kind of overcome the hurdle of transportation. Some of the families who don't have transportation to get to a food bank, especially if they are working part-time jobs or whatever, they can't get there during their hours. We get the food directly to them by sending it home with the kids. But we do have to get the food bags to the school sites. So that's we're always looking for volunteer drivers.
And how can the community get a hold of you if they want to volunteer or donate?
So our website is peachespantry.org. We're also on Facebook, Peaches Pantry SV, and email us feedkids@peachespantry.org.
And another way you can help out is by getting your Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride tickets, because they are going to be one of the $10,000 recipients at Peaches Pantry. And you can get your tickets today by going to www.cochise.az.gov/sheriff/charity-ride. And that will also support Peaches Pantry, because they're going to be a $10,000 recipient this year after November 5th.
Yes,
Well,
thank you so much.
Yeah, and we thank you for coming and talking to us today and letting us know about what Peaches Pantry does.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks for coming in today. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Javier Caltenco from the Small Business Administration. So he's going to talk about how you can get disaster relief loans.
It's First Watch Now
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. We have the Small Business Administration, Javier Caltenco, and people probably don't know what the Small Business Administration is doing in Cochise County, but you're going to tell them.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Yes, my name is Javier Caltenco. I'm a Public Information Officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance. So we are here because there is a agency declaration. So the people who were affected during the severe storms and flooding that just occurred during August 23 to the 25th, they can apply for assistance with the federal government.
And so that was in Benson, St. David, in that area when they had serious floods. And then it was also in the Elfrida McNeil area. Some of those photos are on our webpage thanks to Tammy Jo Wilkins, who was out there, and she lost a brand new pair of tennis shoes in the mud when she was in St. David. And I don't know that she can get a loan for those, but tennis shoes are expensive now. I'm just kidding. But you are here to help people that had severe damage to their homes.
Yes, so therefore, so what the Small Business Administration during the disaster, we help not only businesses, but we also help homeowners and renters as well, and nonprofit organizations. A lot of people, when they hear the Small Business Administration, they think that it's just for the small businesses, but no, we help everybody. So therefore, for businesses, if they have any physical damages, they can apply up to $2 million to repair or replace property damages. Small businesses can also apply for economic injury. Therefore, if they're having a hard time paying their bills, any expense, their business expense that they're having a hard time paying, they can also use that loan for that. And one of the things that somebody mentioned to me, and they were like, well, have someone who has insurance, but they cannot pay the deductible. So that's something that you can use with the Small Business Administration loan as well.
And when people have the thought of a loan, because whether they have insurance or not, they're thinking, oh my gosh, you work really well with people, and it's a low interest loan, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So let me just give you a little bit more about how they can benefit, because yes, first of all, for example, for homeowners, it's as low as 2.13%. For businesses, it's 3.04%, and for nonprofits, it's at 1.87%. So that's pretty low. I mean, compared to if you go outside to the bank, you probably get somewhere between 6, 7, 8% maybe. And one other thing that you can also benefit from the loan is that it can be up to 30 years. You don't have to pay for an application. There's no application fee, and if you pay it early, you don't get penalized for that as well. And there's no closing cost either.
So that's a really good way to look at it. And, we want to encourage people to take a look at this. We're going to get a lot of information out on our website and our social media, and then you also are going to be working in Cochise County trying to help people. And we want to encourage people, don't use your credit cards. I mean, can you imagine credit card interest rates now? I've seen them go up to 32%.
Yes.
And you're talking about a loan that can go 30 years at 2.13% or 2 point something percent. Sorry.
Yes,
so that's probably the best way to do it. And you have a wider, I guess, audience that you can cater to if they have the need for their house to be repaired or things to be replaced.
Yes, and so one of the things, the Small Business Administration disaster loans, is a primary source of money to pay for repairs and replacement costs not covered by the insurance. So therefore, even sometimes, people have insurance and the insurance may take longer. So we sometimes, we encourage individuals, just go apply for the loan. If you get your insurance money before you get the SBA loan, then that's fine. But if you get your SBA loan first, you can always pay off when you get your insurance money. You can pay off the loan. That's all.
And so you have to be impacted directly by one of these events during that time period.
Yes, that's correct. These are especially for disaster loans, so therefore you have to be impacted by the occurrence during August 23 to the 25th.
And how do you apply for this loan?
Okay, yes, that's a good thing, because right now we do have Disaster Outreach Center here in Bisbee. I'm not sure if you want me to provide
Sure.
the address.
Yes, let's do it.
So the address is going to be at the Cochise County Public Health. It's 1415 Melody Lane. It's in Building A. So therefore, we encourage individuals, if you were affected, please go there, because I think right now, from what I've seen, it's going to be closed at the end of next week on the 29th. So we encourage you to go there, because what I saw during COVID is that there was a lot of applicants, and a lot of them had errors. So when you have an error, that's going to delay your application process. So therefore, we don't want that. If you really want to do everything correctly and get the money as soon as possible, we encourage you to go there and apply in person.
And you have people there that'll help in the application process.
Correct.
So there aren't the errors that you would possibly run into.
Correct. We have two staff members there, and one person is bilingual. So therefore, if you only speak Spanish, then we also have somebody who speaks Spanish there as well. And we have a deadline too. So therefore, if you have any physical damages, you need to apply. You mentioned, how can they apply? So once this center is closed, you can go to our SBDC resource partner that's here as well, or you can apply online. But the physical damage deadline is November 18th. And for economic injury, it's going to be June 19th, 2023. Now, just want to also mention that Cochise is a primary county, so you can apply for physical damages and economic injury. And we also have contiguous counties, which are, it's Graham,
Mm-hmm.
Greenlee, sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Pima,
Yes.
and Santa Cruz
County.
Santa
Correct.
Cruz, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so those counties, they can apply for economic injury. So those businesses who are impacted, and a lot of times businesses don't know that they were impacted, they're actually being impacted until maybe a couple months down the line. So we encourage those businesses, if you think that at least a slight chance that you might be impacted, please apply.
It
Don't
doesn't
wait.
hurt. Just make sure that
Exactly.
if you think that you can get help, please reach out and get help.
Yes, and the good thing is that once you apply and if your loan is accepted, you don't have to take the loan. You have about a couple months to decide whether you want the loan or not, and the first payment is not until the 5 months. So that's another good thing that you have.
Another benefit, yeah.
Yes, another benefit.
All right. Well, Javier, thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here, giving me the opportunity to provide this information.
It's First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office. And our next guests are all from Tombstone. We got a room full here. Let's start with you. Hi, what's your name?
Kevin Stanley.
So you have an event that's coming up this weekend. Tell us about that.
So we're running a fundraiser in Tombstone this weekend at the Oriental Saloon. It's a casino night that we are trying to raise money for a haunted house that we are building in Tombstone for the surrounding communities. We've got a fundraiser starting at 2:30 at the Oriental Saloon. We'll have a lot of different casino games: blackjack, Texas Hold'em, craps, roulette. We'll also have faro tables, as well as somebody there to teach you how to play faro if you're interested in that. All of this is to raise money. We've got some wonderful raffle baskets. We've got about 12 raffle baskets completely loaded with things, different items, including a shopping spree through Tombstone that comes with a 2-night stay at the Miners' Cabins. We also have a great paranormal package. Most of that was donated by Wild Night Paranormal, who's here in the room with us as well. All the equipment is being donated by the Vegas Experience, and we've got Tracy in the room here as well to talk about that. We've got a vacation package comes with 3 different hotel stays, a total of 4 nights, dinner, lunch, breakfast, shopping sprees, free gunfights, trolley tours, everything.
Wow, this sounds like your chance to win a lot of fun things, plus gift baskets. And let's pull up Tracy here. Come now. This is not just like a setup that's going to be, it might be just like the community putting together some casino games. This is like legit equipment.
Absolutely, our equipment we feel is the best from the area. We have good trained dealers. We will have professional dealers there. It's going to be a great experience. If it's the same as going basically to Las Vegas and having fun. And the difference is that you can come here, make a donation for the haunted house, and you get to learn the games. There's no better way to learn the games than to do it this way rather than actually having to spend a ton of money if you went to Vegas.
I've actually thought of that, because if I ever went there, I'd be like, I don't know how to play that. But this would be a cool way to learn it.
This is the best way to learn it. You know, blackjack, a lot of people know how to play that, but everybody wants to learn how to play craps, learn the right way, learn the rules. Same thing with roulette. A lot of people don't understand that there's a lot more rules with roulette and with all the games. It just makes it a lot of fun for everybody. The dealers are very personable, and we just have a really good time.
Kind of tell us a little bit about the equipment that you've brought.
All right, so we'll be having blackjack tables, just like you would see in Vegas. They are all sit-down tables. We're going to have a craps tables, beautiful, and you just play the game just like normal. You'll have your dealers. It plays just like if you were in Vegas or any other casino.
Excellent. This is going to be a really fun event, I can tell, and it's going to benefit some of the nonprofits of the area. One of them is the Vigilettes.
Yes.
So what is a Vigilette?
So Tombstone Vigilettes is an all-female group that was formed in 1957. We're one of the longest 501c3s in town. We promote the town through fashion shows and doing events throughout the year. And Halloween is one of the big ones that we like to help and support. It's a community thing. We have it open to everybody here in Arizona, all over, and it's just a lot of fun. We enjoy supporting our community.
So are you part of the Tombstone Vigilantes, or is this a completely separate thing?
Vigilantes is our big brother group.
Gotcha.
So we're not really involved. We each have our own set of officers and stuff for both organizations. But yeah, the Vigilantes are their own group.
Excellent. Well, that's going to be a great cause for this to support. And another person here with what is your support, the cause that's going to be supported?
Well, I am Bruce, also known as Tombstone Santa, and we all know Christmas is coming up. I am with Tombstone Forward, and we're the nonprofit that is running this whole show. We put up our nonprofit organization, and this event is for our Halloween event.
Okay.
And it's going to be rather large. We're looking at over 3,000 square foot. And we have, I think, 25 animatronics. And we're always looking for volunteers to help us.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to come out for the last 3 weekends of October, come on out. Be a volunteer. Let's scare the heck out of these little kids.
And how do they get a hold of you to volunteer or to donate?
Well, to donate checks, you would make out to Tombstone Forward Association. And our phone number is 520-226-5024.
And also, I forgot to ask how to get a hold of the Vigilettes. And do you guys need any assistance from the community?
We're always looking for assistance from the community. Yeah, so we back Tombstone Forward and Tombstone Will Survive all the time. I have ladies that come in and help them. Again, this is their big event. We have one coming up in November. But yeah, they can go on Facebook. They can look for the Vigilette page. I'm Heather Davis. They can message me if they want to volunteer for the haunted house or anything else in the community.
All right, and next up, hi, what's your name, sir?
My name's Kevin Wild. I'm with a business called Wild Night Paranormal.
And you're going to be part of the haunted house, I take it?
Yes, I am one of the main sponsors for the haunted house. I'm actually going to be donating a lot of my time. I also have a hearse in town that everybody knows, and I will have it there. So I'm going to be part of the build process for the whole haunted house. So it's going to be a really good time.
And how can the community get a hold of you guys?
Best way to get a hold of me is to go through my email is wildnightparanormal@gmail.com.
All right, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun because with you at the helm, it's probably going to be pretty scary.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we this is our coming up on our favorite time of year. So
excellent. And do you have something to say? Yeah, get down to the microphone there.
Oh yes, this is Tombstone Santa again. I also want to promote our wine celebration the first weekend of October, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's first weekend in October.
Lots of fun stuff happening in October. So we're going to invite you guys to this event one more time. It's happening this weekend. So kind of give us the overview one more time of what's happening and where.
All right. At the Oriental Saloon from 2:30 to 7, we're going to be having a casino night. And it's going to be sponsored, again, by Tombstone Will Survive. They're the organization that puts together all these events, mainly helping out the community, working with the kids, giving the kids something to do in town, showing them exactly that, we can have a good time. And the Vegas Experience, if you want to reach us, you can reach us at 520-457-8806. And then, or on our website, the VegasExperienceAZ.com, as well as on our Facebook page.
And invite everybody to the event one more time this weekend.
Yes, so we have a lot of great organizations and businesses working here with us, the Tombstone Vigilettes, Tombstone Forward, the Vegas Experience, and Wild Night Paranormal. We also have some other events going on. We threw the 4th of July celebration that we had in the park with the water balloon fight with over 12,000 water balloons this year. Had a lot of people show up for that. Tombstone Will Survive is not actually a nonprofit. We're kind of more of a community-led organization trying to help the nonprofits with volunteers and putting on more events for our community. We could always use volunteers, but a lot of the financial backing does come out of a lot of our pockets. So sponsorships and everything else are greatly appreciated. We are looking for more sponsors for the haunted house as well. You can get a hold of the Tombstone Vigilettes or Tombstone Forward, or even Tombstone Will Survive has a Facebook page that you can join and communicate with us that way. On Sunday, we actually have the Tombstone Vigilantes that will be out in the street doing free gunfights on that day. So you can go out there, see them, walk around, see the town, and then at 2:30 when we start, we'll have little finger foods and a few snacks and everything as well while you're playing your casino games and have a couple of drinks.
All right, well, Tombstone sounds like the place to be this weekend, so make sure you check that out. It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. And now in the studio, we've basically got the entire Sierra Vista Police Department, I think.
Good morning.
It's Officer Tracy Grady. Let's start with you. We've got the Bearcat poll coming up. First of all, tell us what a Bearcat is.
The Bearcat is our SRT team apparatus. It's 17,500 pounds, and we're challenging teams to come out and pull that bad boy.
They have to pull it 25 feet?
Yep, 25 feet. You get 2 chances at it, and we have 4 different teams. We either have the men's team, which is a team of 8. We have the Iron Man team, which is a team of 5. We have the co-ed team, which is a team of 9, and the women's team, which is a team of 10.
And this is all for bragging rights to see who can do this the quickest. So who's the champion?
The Border Patrol.
The Border Patrol. Now, you don't have to be a law enforcement agency to participate in this.
That's right. We can have anybody come out and pull the Bearcat. Last year we had a team from an oncology group in town, and they did a great job at their first time out.
And this is all a fundraiser for the Special Olympics Torch Run.
That's correct. 100% of the proceeds goes to Special Olympics.
So how can people get registered for this event?
You can contact me at the police department, or you can download the entry form from the police department website.
And if you go by October 1st, you get something special.
You actually can get a T-shirt for the event. And we wanted to let everybody know that this year we have a brand new T-shirt design. And a young lady who has something to do with the PD, whom I will remain nameless, actually decided that she wanted a red T-shirt with blue ink, and we have arranged to have that happen.
Excellent. So this event is going to be in October. So it's October the 23rd, I believe.
Yes, it's Sunday, October 23rd. Registration is from 8 to 9, and we pull immediately at 9 a.m.
All right, so pre-register. If you do that before October 1st, you're going to get a T-shirt. If you go after October 1st, you can still register. You just won't get the T-shirt.
Correct.
All right, so that's Officer Tracy Grady with the Sierra Vista Police Department. And next up, we've got Mr. Wachtel, who's going to be talking about something that's going on in Douglas this weekend.
Good morning, Grady. Good morning, Cochise County.
And so we've got the DUI task force headed to Douglas.
That's true. Obviously, just like Sheriff Daniels was talking earlier, the 98th Annual Cochise County Fair is up and running. So this Saturday night, the Southeastern Arizona DUI task force will be making a visit down to Douglas and just patrolling the Douglas area.
And why do you like to tell people that these are happening?
Just a service, just a awareness, just be aware that we will be out there. I mean, again, just like we talk about every time, we're not trying to hide this. We just need education. We're trying to educate everybody that we will be out there. I listened to the sheriff talk about the individual that he pulled over. Plan ahead. It's not worth it. Just plan ahead.
Plan ahead. And there's so many different ride options. Even if you're going all the way to Douglas, there's ride options.
There is, and the last thing you want to do is have us give you a ride. So again, plan ahead. Have a good time, but plan ahead.
And do you have any sponsors you want to thank this time around?
Just Douglas PD for hosting this.
All right. Thank you to Douglas PD. And that's Sergeant Wachtel with the Sierra Vista Police Department. And next, it's Officer Borgstadt with the Sierra Vista Police Department.
Good morning.
What do you have going on?
Well, tomorrow, the Sierra Vista Police Department, in conjunction with the Citizens Police Academy Associates, will be conducting a VinEtch at the mall, on the east side of the mall by the old Sears building. Now, VinEtch is a way of protecting your vehicle. What we do is we etch your vehicle identification number into all the windows of your vehicle. This helps prevent vehicle theft.
How does it prevent vehicle theft?
Well, if the VIN is etched into the glass, that makes the vehicle less desirable. Actually, glass is one of the most profitable items for chop shops. So if it's etched in there, they can't resell it. Plus, it also identifies your vehicle a little bit easier if it is stolen. So criminals actually try to avoid vehicles that have the VIN etched into the windows. They just move on to the next one.
And how much does it cost for you to do this for us?
Actually, it's free of charge. However, we do take donations to help cover costs. The event is tomorrow at Sears. We're going to do this from 9 to 1. So bring your vehicles. We'll etch them.
And who are you doing this in conjunction with?
The Citizens Police Academy Associates.
All right, so give us the times and location one more time for tomorrow.
Time is 9 to 1 at Sears on the east side of the mall.
All right, so the Sierra Vista Police Department representing with a lot of events going on. And also, Carol, you have one more thing you would like to add for the show.
I do. This is almost like law enforcement speed dating. So I just want to say it's my turn. So our Cochise County Sheriff's Office has our critical incident team that was stood up on the 19th. They've just finished week 1. So we want to give a shout out to Sergeant Todd Linendahl and Deputies Oletsky, Ezri, Paz, Brennan, and Lomeli, because we know you're going to do a great job out there. So thank you so much.
Hey, you know what? We got enough people to give them a round of applause. Let's do that.
Yay!
First Watch on KWCD Country. It's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3 KWCD.